And the Eye of Terror sees all. Eye of Terror actually sees all. The Eye of Terror sees you. It sees you. Jensen Quinn, I see you. Oh, Bobo, you need more Nurgle. I need more Nurgle. Why don't I give you more Nurgle? I think it's a good thing. You shall see. Data Wargaming. Mars Sandoval from Santiago. You guys want to talk Nurgle? I want to talk corn. Corn is where it is at. This is the truth. I speak truth. Wyatt. We will get it. We will get it done. This is an impromptu Shrine of Chaos. This was not broadcasted or advertised. I just felt like giving away some gifts of chaos. Ah, there we go. I am still connected. I hope you can see. I hope you can see everything. Because if you can't, you need to start playing chaos. This will make life happier. Who wants? like him at all. It gives him power. Don't give him power. This is not good for business. Really, really, really not good for business. Nurgle is best. John Broderick. You are the best. In Splazaris. Hates Tau. I hear music. And I hear it in my ears. Because I think that's a very good statement. Waiting for more cultists to join the show. We haven't officially started yet, but we shall. You hear whispers of corn. Well, it's funny you should say that. Because I do as well. Ah, there we go. Somebody post a link, and we shall be good. A First Strike Warhammer 40k starter set will be given away sometime today. Don't forget to be on the show for that. It will happen because you will think it, and it will be projected into the universe. Time to come back. A battle between Mortarion and Magnus would be glorious. I think I shall do such thing. Mini Wargamer Dave here from miniwargaming.com. Welcome, Wargamers, to the Shrine of Chaos. For those of you who have not been here inside the Shrine of Chaos before, this is what we do in the Shrine of Chaos. First off, we eat fish for breakfast, because that's what the Tau are. And Tau aren't allowed in the Shrine of Chaos. Second, we give away gifts of chaos. This is going to be a gift of chaos that will be given away at some point during this broadcast. It is one of the starter sets that is new, that's coming out. It's the First Strike starter set. We're also going to be discussing some Chaos Space Marines, some Heretic Astartes, if you will, some units in this codex. And the reason why we are is because of my number one love for this game that we all play, or that we are associated with, or related to together. Glue, stuck, you, me, us, game. It's your job to organize the words that I just gave you and to make sense of them. Because if you can't, then it's really going to be a problem in our relationship. But I'm okay with this because I'm optimistic, and I think that we can definitely come to a very good understanding and conclusion for what we're going to do. Now, for enough of that rhetoric, let's get down to brass tacks here. And we'll talk about the Lord of Skulls. The Lord of Skulls is an amazing unit. For those of you who don't know about the Lord of Skulls, in the new codex, it has been decreased in its points cost. Lord of Skulls is now 365 points. I'm just going to double check that just to make sure I'm not lying to you. Yeah, 365 base, not including his weapons. There is a loadout that I like to include. I like to include the Demon Gore Cannon and the Gore Storm Cannon. With those two cannons attached to his awesome chassis, it equals 510 points. Now, the 510 points in those two guns, or those two cannons that it gives you, they are 18-inch cannons, and they are auto hit, which is pretty sweet. I mean, you hit on threes normally. You're super heavy, so that doesn't matter if you move. You can still shoot and not be affected by that. But I think that it's incredible because, first off, you're 28 wounds with this guy. Why is the Lord of Skulls? Where is he in the book? Well, he's on page 149 in the book, just so you know. And why is he so awesome? Well, because you can drive up 10 inches if you're at more than 14 wounds, first off. So you got a good amount of distance there. Another one is you can shoot 18 inches up. So essentially that is a 28-inch range if you move and shoot up, which you can. And then you have two chances of obliterating stuff with your auto-hitting flamers. We'll call them flamers, even though they're cannons and they auto-hit. That's an 18-inch flamer. One of the flamers, which is the Gore Storm Cannon, if you have 10 or more models, you roll 2d6 for the amount of hits that you get instead of 1d6. And the Demon Gore Cannon, which is heavy d6, its damage is 3. Now, the strength of both of these is strength 10, which is awesome because chances are you will do a lot of damage. Now, you're good at killing elites. You're good at killing hordes, and you're good at killing vehicles, and you're good at killing strong vehicles. How do I know this? Because I have fielded him much as of late. I think there were 4 battle reports, 4 separate battles that I had, and they were completely different lists that I included him in. I included him in a massive mech list, 3,000 point mech list. I included him in a regular Khorne army where he was not the focal point, but he was certainly a large portion of the army, but not the entire army. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't that my victory, whether I had a victory or not, because I'm not going to give away that part of it, so as to encourage you to watch the battle report when it's posted. I didn't want to make a contingent upon the Lord of Skulls and putting all my Khorne eggs in the one Khorne basket, if you know what I mean. So I thought that it would be good to use him as a very strong Lord of War choice, and he does it because it's difficult for things to take him out in a single round of shooting.
especially because he has his Infernal Regeneration, which allows you to regain a wound every turn. If you couple that with a Warp Smith, at the end of the movement phase, if you're within an inch of him, then you can regain D3 lost wounds automatically, which is awesome. Now, you can't stack that. You can't have 2 Warp Smiths and they both do that. Only one can actually do it. Only one vehicle can benefit from being healed by a Warp Smith per turn. But still, if you did include a Warp Smith, which is one of the cheapest HQ choices, if not the cheapest HQ choice, that is a good amount of extra points spent on ensuring that those extra wounds are regained on your Lord of Skulls. And the thing about the Warp Smith as well, in conjunction with the Lord of Skulls, is that people, they don't really want to attack the Warp Smith. Heck, you don't even have to make him your Warlord. You can just make another HQ choice, just bring another Warp Smith. Just bring him in there. He's so cheap, and he does wonders for it. It's a very, very cost-effective way of making the survivability of your Lord of Skulls that much better. I recommend it. I love it. I do it. Now, here's the other thing, too. When you are charged, because of the auto-hitting on your Overwatch, you are essentially giving another shooting phase with your Lord of Skulls. It's devastating. It's absolutely devastating. You got your heavy D6 with your Demon Gore Cannon. It's -2 AP and it's 3 damage. It's an automatic 3 damage. Then you also got your Gorestorm Cannon, which is heavy D6, -2 AP, and it does 2 damage. So that's a lot of damage, especially if you're using command points and you only roll a 1, let's say, on the Demon Gore Cannon. You can re-roll it, and you can get a lot more auto hits, wounding on most likely 2s because you're strength 10. Might be the rare case when you're, wounding on 3s because of something that's really tough. It's coming at you, which, more often than not might be the case, just because if something's going to charge into the Lord of Skulls, you better make sure that it's survivable enough to take a beating. So vehicles, they die gloriously in Lord of Skulls Overwatch. I've seen it happen many times, and it's one of the best feelings on this planet because you just teach them a lesson for charging the Lord of Skulls. They just think to themselves, oh, I didn't see that coming. I didn't realize that would be that devastating. I'm going to not be sure what to do next, or I'm going to not charge him, which means he stays alive, which means he can charge. Now, here's the best part. His close combat, his Great Cleaver of Khorne, it has 2 modes. It has Smash and it has Slash. The Smash is strength ×2, and if you're at full capacity, that's strength 20. That's ridiculous. Like, this strength 20. It's overkill, but not too much overkill because it's Khorne, but it's definitely overkill. And then you're -4 AP, and you are 6 damage. Get this, you're 6 damage with that. Now, your base attacks with the Lord of Skulls is 4. The more wounded you are, the more attacks you gain because the angrier you get. So if you're 7 to 13 wounds remaining, then you get 6 attacks. And if you're 1 to 6 wounds remaining, you get 8 attacks in true Khorne fashion. So that's very good if you are smashing things. That's with the one mode of your Great Cleaver of Khorne. Let's talk about the Slash mode. The Slash mode allows you to make 3 attacks instead of 1. So you make 3 attacks for every attack that you have. So if you have 4 attacks, it's actually 12. And with those 12 attacks, you're still slashing at strength 10. And you're -2 AP, which, I mean, -2, that's really good. Even against a Terminator, you are 4. Their saves are 4. And their damage is D3. So it really depends on what you're fighting. If you're fighting a horde, then yeah, use that because the other one would be overkill. If you're fighting a vehicle or another monster or another HQ or another beefy whatever, then use your Smash because you hit on 3s and you're most likely wounding on 2s, which is ridiculous, especially with the -4. The Smash -4, 6 damage is insane. It is ridiculously insane. You do not want to get in close combat with the Lord of Skulls. You do not want to be charged by the Lord of Skulls. And if you are in combat with the Lord of Skulls and you have charged the army that is fielding the Lord of Skulls, you definitely want to attack it first, because you better believe they're going to spend 2 command points and interrupt your combat, and it's going to attack whatever it's in combat with, because it's going to kill it. That 6 damage, that -4, 6 damage is insane. It is so awesome. The points, I am extremely happy with the points adjustment. Even in the index, it was 100 points more expensive than it is now in the codex base cost. That was actually even a good. Now, I don't dare say that too loud because I don't want them to readjust it, but the 365 base is definitely worth it. And the 510 points that you get with your loadouts for your Demon Gore cannon and your Gorestorm cannon are fantastic. I love it. It is pretty amazing. So I have ordered another one because I have one currently, but there is more than one Lord of Skulls out there that deserves glory on the battlefield, which is why it's happening right now as we speak. The wheels, the tracks are in motion, and the rivers of blood are flowing. That's what's going to happen. And it's just a lot of fun too, because it's nice having a unit that you can put up front and not be afraid that it's going to die to the first round of shooting. So you're going to see it go in combat. You're going to have it soak up wounds. You're going to see people die from Overwatch. You're going to see people die from your shooting. And it's going to be glorious. Something else that I recommend is if you have bikes, then put bikes in front of it if you don't want to be charged. Now, granted, being charged by a Lord of Skulls is actually not bad, because then you get to attack, and the chances are you're not going to die from whatever's charging you. I can't say that in every single case. I've never pitted it up against a Stompa before. I don't know the stats of a Stompa off the top of my head, so perhaps that would be a fantastic fight. And if you're being charged by a Stompa, that might be a scary day. Again, I don't know the stats of a Stompa right now, so that would probably be a good fight. In fact, I might do a who would win. Who would win? Lord of Skulls, Stompa. That'd probably be a good fight. If you guys like this idea, then I shall do it when I return from Nova Open, because I'm going next week. So for those of you who are going to Nova Open, watch out for me and Matt and Josh. The 3 of us are going. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be giving away 3 lifetime Silver Vault memberships. Only 3. And they're going to be raffled off. And I'm also giving away a couple copies of Trolls. They will be signed, and they will be given away as gifts of chaos. That goes towards the charity event that's happening. First time at Nova Open. I'm very excited, and I'm excited to roam around and to float and to talk and to network and to meet people, because that's my preferred favorite thing. I like it. We need 8th edition of Who Would Win series. Pate Peterson, I absolutely agree. And it's funny you should say that, because we've already started. Hasn't been posted yet. Recorded 12 episodes so far. They're all going to be dumped all at the same time for a couple of reasons. One, I like binge watching, so it's only fair that you get the opportunity to binge watch as well. Another thing is, too, they might change rules, because GW has been changing rules relatively quickly. So I don't want to be backlogged with a whole bunch of videos that are obsolete because a new FAQ has come out or what have you. So that's why they're all being dumped at the same time. And it only took 1 day to film 12 Who Would Wins. It's awesome. 2 of them will be on YouTube. The other 10 will be in the vault. The 2 on YouTube are the big ones, like the big matches. I think, what's the first one? Well, they're good size. It's Chaos Space Marine HQs and characters. That's what it is. So you're going to see Abaddon fighting. You're going to see Karn. You're going to see Huron Blackheart. You see Lucius the Eternal. You'll see Fabius Bile. He's in there a little bit too. You're going to see some Lords. You'll see some Sorcerers. You'll see a Demon Prince. And you'll see combinations of all these guys fighting each other to vie for the most powerful, who is the best HQ choice in Chaos Space Marines. Stay tuned for this when it is posted, which will be soon. And I'm excited for it because it's a new edition. We get to basically reset all of those who would wins because now it's different. Now people have different stats and abilities and characters, and they work differently. So all the stuff we did before is going to have to be redone. And knowing this, I have ordered and received named characters for the Space Marines because I want to see how they fare. And I'm talking like Ultramarines. So this is going to be a Who Would Win series with just the Ultramarine characters. Can you picture that? Can you picture that with Space Marine characters fighting each other? Same way, the exact same way that the Chaos Space Marine HQ characters and everyone fought each other. I think that this would be sweet. If you guys would like to see this, let me know. Leave a comment in the chat or wherever, because that would be a lot of fun to create. We can pump them out in a day. Pump them out meaning we can film them in a day because the battles are short. The battles are like 10 minutes each. So we can do a whole bunch, probably a dozen of them, and it would be a lot of fun. The longest part is going over the stats of the guys so that you guys know. For the guys, for you at home who don't know the stats, then you can follow along and you can see what we're working with the characters. And also because it's usually one-on-one battles, the likelihood of rules errors are lessened. I'm not going to say they are eliminated because, we get excited and we play and sometimes things slip and sometimes there are tactical errors because there is only the half human aspect of what we're doing here. I'm not going to say the human aspect because then you would have to be full human to do so. And since I'm half human, that's the only way that this is going to work. I'm glad that we have this understanding. Right? Billy Stagner? Yeah, I see you, Billy. You are, that's a really good thing there that you're doing. I like what it is, and I encourage you to continue working on it because it looks good from here, man. I can see it. Billy, like your name, because that's my middle name. My middle name is William, and it means protector. That's what William means. So, Billy, the protector. That's like saying Billy the Billy. So, protector, I commend you on your work, and I encourage you to continue. Pete Peterson says, it would be funny to see a Horus Heresy Robbie G versus 40k Robbie G with 30k Rob stats modified to 8th edition. Yes, I would like that. In fact, on a related note, I am getting the Mortarion when he comes in. So I think the Mortarion versus the Magnus shall be a match that you will see in a Who Would Win series because it's glorious. Might have to do a 2 out of 3, best 2 out of 3 for that one because it's a big fight. It's going to be a big one. Betrayer the Betrayer. Domes Thenes. I'm not sure what that means, but Case Cariona, you are wrong about what you just said. I won't repeat it because there's no sense in repeating things that are wrong. Do I think Chaos Space Marines will get a new sculpt soon? Well, Corey Porter, let me tell you. I hope so. Yep. I think they might because they're Chaos, right? They look different. But I think they'd be new models. Kind of like how we have new Tzeentch models and we have new Death Guard models. So I think they would be new models as opposed to replacing Chaos Space Marines proper. That's my theory. If that happens, then that's good because it just means we get more stuff. We don't replace stuff that we have. It's like when the Chosen came out in Dark Vengeance years ago when that came out. When they came out with those awesome models, Drasnik's Chosen, when they came out with that. It was pretty sweet. Those models looked awesome. In fact, I liked using them as aspiring champions in the units because they looked cooler. So I hope they do that. You like to see new Berserkers? I think new Berserkers would be insane. They would be awesome. But again, with that, because I have like 88 Berserkers, I think I actually might have more than that. I might have more than 100 now. That's good. Core likes it. Right? Those are like just drops of blood. How about a mini wargaming tournament? For example, during a weekend, the winner will be corrupted by a chaos god. Well, Silent Hill, I agree with your awesome idea. I like it. I do. We will have tournaments in the future. That is inevitable. That will be happening in the Mini Wargaming Bunker. For those of you who don't know what the Mini Wargaming Bunker is, it is the new, huge, massive project that we are working on. It is going to be the new location for Mini Wargaming. It's about 5 minutes down the road from here, and we're going to be moving shop. Currently have 4 studios. In the new location, we'll have 6 studios. We're also going to have a massive tournament room that will house upwards of 60 people. We're going to have the bunker, which is where people will sleep overnight, kind of like a bed and breakfast style sleeping. My goal is to accommodate 20 people there. We shall see how many we're actually able to accommodate. It'd be close to that, probably 15 to 20 people, because there's going to be barracks, rooms with bunks. People can feel like they're going to be in a it's going to be themed like this, like the studios. You're going to like full immersive experience. You're not going to want to get a hotel nearby Mini Wargaming. You're going to want to stay at Mini Wargaming. And the Mini Wargaming Bunker will become synonymous with Mini Wargaming, kind of like how the Mini Wargaming Vault is synonymous with Mini Wargaming. If you watch Mini Wargaming videos, 9 times out of 10, 99.99 times out of 100, you've heard of the Mini Wargaming Vault because we mention it in every video. So this is something that will become synonymous with Mini Wargaming. The Mini Wargaming Bunker. Come to the bunker. When you come fight us, stay at the bunker because it's an experience. It will become an experience. Coming to Mini Wargaming right now is already an experience. You come here and you get to fight and you get to be in the studios and participate in the videos and be in the battle reports, and we are very grateful for that. Without you guys, we don't exist. And we'd like to make sure that everyone who comes here knows that and understands that. We don't exist without you guys. We don't exist without the volunteers. They help build us. They are part of the foundation of Mini Wargaming. Without those volunteers, we wouldn't have the content that we have. We wouldn't have the quantity or the quality. We don't exist without them. So this is our way of saying thank you. And that thank you is extended and shown and demonstrated in this new building, in the bunker. We are excited for this. This is happening. October 7th, that's the day. It's the day we take possession of the new building and we break ground. We start to do demolition work. We start construction on the walls, putting up walls, doing the aesthetics of the studios. There will be 40K themed escape rooms. I'm thinking of actually making one of them a fantasy escape room as well. But we shall see. There's going to be 3 escape rooms. That's the goal. And it's a little hard to sleep right now because it's so exciting. I can't sleep because of excitement. And there's a lot of projects. I like to have a lot of projects on the go. I guess maybe I'm addicted to projects because there are so many projects on the go right now. The Rangers movie, that is underway. I'm getting more and more sound files as the days go on. Scenes are being completed. If I had to guess, it'd be 95% done now. It is so close to being completed, and from start to finish, it would have been a 2-year process. Isn't that nuts? I had no idea that it would take that long, but it's this awesome, big, long project that will be amazing, that will be part of the fibers of this place because it's all connected. This whole conversation that I'm having with you guys that has strung on for a good 7 minutes and hasn't stopped, I can't stop talking about this stuff because it's so much fun. Now, in addition to this, there's the Mini Wargaming board game that is in development. There's artwork. If you're not part of the group, I have a group on Facebook, which is the MWG Board Game Group. Join the group because the group has helped me to create this game. I've run polls and I have posted ideas and suggestions, and you guys have left ideas and suggestions, and I choose the ones that you guys want the most. And so that's the beauty about this game, is that you guys created it. And I love that. It's a community-created game. And so the mechanics of the game, the movement, the art style, the price, the size, like everything about this game, you guys have created. And I think that, see, that to me is, it just sounds like so much fun. Who wouldn't want to be a part of that? So if you're not part of the MWG Board Game Group, join it. I will accept you. and then you can participate in the discussion because posting updates all the time. Arcane Factories, that's the company that is doing the artistic assets. They're the ones doing the illustrations for the cards. It'll be card based. It's going to have a board, and there's going to be tokens that you move around, and the object is to become the owner of Mini Wargaming, and you do that by collecting vault members. So it's kind of like a spin on reality, which is a lot of fun. We fight volunteers that come in, which is what we do in real life, and those volunteers are represented by illustrations on cards, and they have weapon stats, and they have special abilities. Same with the characters here at Mini Wargaming. The characters, as in the personalities, the content producers, we're all in the game, and that's why it's going to be a lot of fun. Wouldn't you want to battle us? If you can't battle us here at Mini Wargaming, then you can battle us in the Mini Wargaming board game. That's the logic. I just made that up on the spot because chaos flows. So an Imperial Guard theme room would be easy too. It's just blood splatters, chunks of meat, and flashlights everywhere. Well, Vindicatus. I actually like that idea very much. Dave, who do you think will win Fate of Conor? I'm going to choose one of those ways of saying it. It came out wrong. I'm not going to tell you who I think is going to win because I've already been shown who's going to win. So I don't want to spill the beans. I'm just the kind of guy that keeps secrets. In that respect, very Tzeentch. Okay, Slaanesh Chaos Space Marine Army build tips. Yeah, let's dive into this a little bit. Don't collect Slaanesh. No, I'm just kidding. If you want to collect Slaanesh, I recommend actually going demons because you always count as attacking first in close combat. So that's amazing. Utilize that. Take advantage of that. If you're going to do it, embrace it. Do the demons and always attack first, even if you're charged. You don't have to make your entire army demons, but have a portion of it at least benefit from that. Let me see here. See, it's actually kind of too bad. I haven't really looked at the Slaanesh too much because when Traded Legions came out, that was like, oh, Emperor's Children are amazing. Oh, I'm going to get Feel No Pain on my bikes. Oh, they're going to have an icon of excess. They're going to be 4 Feel No Pain on bikes, which is amazing. They took it away pretty quick. So I've been kind of, I was traumatized when they took it away because we only had it for what felt like a month. I know it was longer. Maybe 6 months. I don't know the exact date. All I know is that it felt like they took it away way too fast. So I just didn't look at it. And especially because in this codex, this doesn't focus on that at all. It focuses on Black Legion, and it focuses, like, there's a little bit of flair with the Legion traits. I will say that, but that's basically all. That's what you get. You get Warlord traits and Legion traits. Other than that, you are fielding similar armies with different skins. You can paint them up in your different schemes for narrative purposes, but at the end of the day, the armies are similar. They don't play differently. In Trader Legions, they played differently, and that's why I loved it so much. So in that respect, I'm saddened by what they have done. That's probably the one and maybe only thing that I am sad about. All other things are agreeable and good and make me happy. That's what I'll say. So, Dave, do you think they will reprint the Chaos Marine Codex if the rules change? If the rules change. If what rules change? What rules are you referring to? Because are you talking about like points values? Because they've printed it in such a way where they didn't include points values on the data sheets. So in that respect, it's smart. In terms of practical use of it, it makes it difficult just because whenever I want to flip to something, it doesn't show the points, which is why I wrote it in by myself so that I can just look at it and calculate my stuff easy. Now, I know there's battle scribe and stuff like that, but it's not 100% perfect. Sometimes there's errors, and I just don't want to have to double check every single time I make it. So I've been writing out my lists. That's how I've been building my lists, and I do it in the same amount of time as it takes for me to do battle scribe. And the reason why is because It's not the amount of time it takes to write things out versus clicking. It's the amount of time it takes for me to craft the army and to think about what I'm bringing, to think about what I'm equipping my guys with. That's really what the difference is. Yeah. Terminology, data sheets. I'm talking about the cards here. I'm talking about like the stats. So semantics. These things that I'm looking at right now that show the abilities and stats of all the guys. Tis good. Tis very good. Thoughts on assassins? Yeah, hide your characters. Because there was one game. Well, which one was it? Who was it? Was it Huron? I think it was Huron Blackheart, where I brought him as my HQ, and I think I was fighting assassins. And, he poked his head out. It's like, oh, no, there's a Vindicare. Okay, I can't look out there because I can be sniped. So in that respect, it's a little bit scary. And it's kind of fun at the same time because it gives a different twist to the protection of characters, which is what you normally get behind other things. But with assassins that doesn't happen. So it adds another element of strategy to the game, which makes it fun. And the open war cards, I will say this, are a lot of fun too. I love that aspect of randomness and that aspect of, I don't know how I'm going to win this until I flip the card over. It gives us equal playing field. It was fun. I did it for the first time yesterday, and I'm going to be doing it again much more in the future. You'll see it. I recently played a game. It was mechs versus monsters. It was walkers. I fielded 6 defilers, 3 Mauler Fiends, a Lord of Skulls, 3 Helldrakes. It was 3,000 points, and it was amazing. Fought Tyranid monsters. There were Carnifexes, Trigons. What's that HQ called with the bone swords? What is he? Forget the name. I mean, they're bugs. They all look like bugs. Okay, what is it? Swarmlord. There you go. And Tervagon. Yeah, there was just monsters. A lot of monsters. And it was tough because there were a lot of wounds. So I'm not going to tell you the outcome of the game. All I'll say is that was tough. And that was scary because I didn't know what I was fighting. Because A, I don't fight Tyranids very often. And B, all the stats are new. So even if I did fight them a lot before, I wouldn't know what I was fighting now because it was all new stuff. It's actually the first time fighting against Tyranids in 8th edition. Pretty sure. Yeah, I'm fighting against the Imperium a lot. So that's the majority of the battles that I've been doing in 8th edition. I'm going to be going out into the Xenos more. And I'll be fielding, because of the new codex, I've been covering Chaos Space Marines a lot recently. I'm gonna take my puppies for a walk around the block pretty soon, I think. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so Majestic Aardvark 24, thank you very much for your compliment. I see what you're working on, and I like what you're working on. Please continue with that. I can actually see it right there because the Eye of Terror sees all, so there it is right there. And it's good. Good work. Show people. I agree with your decision to work on what you're working on. I like it. Might need some more blue. Maybe some gold. Either way, looks good, man. Please continue. Dave, what do you think the Legion traits for Death Guard and 1,000 Suns will be? Well, I hope that the Death Guard will be kind of like a feel no pain equivalent. I think that would be very thematic and it would make sense. Hopefully, they might make that better. 1,000 Suns. You know what? I don't know. I haven't given that much thought because the codex. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the codex because everything that I've tried to predict as it's come out, I've been wrong. So no predictions. I'll see into the future, but I will not predict the future because seeing is not believing. Seeing is knowing. Believing is different than knowing. Just so you know, there's a difference. let's do a Chaos Comment Bomb. It's time for that right now. So we've been talking about Lord of Skulls. We've been talking about this quite a bit. There is a channel that I found that showcased the Lord of Skulls video, but it was an old video. So I grabbed one of the recent videos, one that was posted 2 days ago. And I think you guys are going to like this video. Now, if you guys aren't sure what a Chaos Comment Bomb is, this is what a Chaos Comment Bomb is. I'm going to post a link to a YouTube video in the video chat. I'm going to post a couple links. They're both to the same video. The reason why is because there's a lot of people chatting right now. What you need to do is click on the link and leave a comment on this video. The comment could be something to the effect of, the Eye of Terror sees all, or Dave sees you and says hi and loves you and gives a big hug, or you could say, follow Chaos, even though you do already, or good job on your channel. Whatever you say, you can say whatever you want, doesn't matter. All that's important is that you're leaving a comment and that you are contributing to the massive bomb that is about to be dropped. And it's going to be amazing, because if the comments are connected to the phone of the individual, the phone's going to explode. And if it's sitting on the back of the toilet as he's in the shower, then it's even better, because the phone might fall in the toilet, and then there would definitely be some sort of explosion. Maybe on a miniature scale. I don't know. So, okay, post. There you go. Chaos Comment Bomb. The links have been posted in the video chat. Also, I'm also posting it in the video description. So, there you go. I'm going to actually go to the video, and I'm going to look at the comments. I'm going to do the newest first here, and I'm going to see. Nice. So, Jenny was the first comment there, who just posted bomb. That's pretty sweet. That's really all you need. And I'm going to refresh this, because refreshing comments that you leave are fun. Looking at them, they're coming in, man. They are. Why is that making noise? That shouldn't be. Okay, there we go. Yeah, very, very good. I like it. Newest first. Sweet. There's a lot of comments there. You guys are awesome. See, this is what I'm talking about. Siege Studios. They're the ones that left us. They have 1.7K subscribers. So we can bolster this for them. They do some good work. Now, this particular video is Bacon Marines. Now, when you see a video that says Bacon Marines and they're painted up and you get the story behind it, it's fun. It's just fun. See, that needs to be rewarded with a Chaos Comment Bomb. That's the logic that I'm thinking, and I think it's pretty hard to disagree with that. So I like to agree with things that are hard to disagree with. So since that's the case, I'm going to refresh this again and see how many comments we got, because it went from like 7 originally to let's see how many we got. Oh, that's funny, because it says a certain amount, but we know there's a lot more than what it says there. It says there's only 23 comments, but we know there's more than that just by looking down. So that's interesting. All right. Well, that's good. That's successful. Congrats, guys. Sweet. You guys are the best. I like it. Chaos Comment Bomb. That's the way to do it. That's what you got to do. So I think it's now come to time where I'm just going to start reading the comments on the chat, because it's fun when I read what you guys say. No, I'm not going to read everything. This isn't Ron Burgundy, okay? So I'm not going to read everything necessarily. I'm just going to read it rapid fire. Please be Steve. Oh, you're talking about Steve Singh? The phone is effectively blown. Nice. Got it done, man. Taylor Schroeder. You're amazing. I love it. Dave, you are a legend and a true inspiration. Well, Stephen Tidy, I appreciate your kind words, and that's a very humbling thing that you just said to me. So I'm going to go on to the next comment. Peter says, in a box for the box god, a box for the box throne. Yes. Yes. Woo, Bacon up, I approve. Robert Bacon, yes, you would approve. And that's awesome how that's your name. Shows 28 comments now, Damien Herbert. Yep, that's what it is. Pink Plays says, hi, Dave. Would you recommend to take what would you recommend to take in a 1,500 point list for Thousand Sons? Bring your rubrics and bring them in rhinos. Why? Because you don't want them shot at because they are expensive. And bring them because they're fun. Bring your special guns that are new. It's slipping the mind right now because I haven't actually played them since 7th edition. What's the name of the gun? Soul Reapers. Yeah, bring your Soul Reaper cannons. Yeah, those are great. So I certainly recommend bringing those. And bring your Scarab Occults as well. Because why? Because they're fun. And they got their double missile launch. Yeah, they're also good. And also your Soul Reaper cannons. They got a good amount of shots. So if you're going to do it right, and bring that. Magnus, I wouldn't necessarily bring Magnus every time. Because you want to have some fun with the challenge. Because Magnus is so good that, I mean, he's not as good as he was before, but he was ridiculous before. So he is just really good now, if that makes a difference. So he was here, now he's here, when good is here. I got that from Suits because I've been watching a lot of Suits. Dave, top 3 Chaos Space Marine characters and what Legion trait is the best? Well, the Legion trait, the one that gives you an extra wound and allows you to roll a die, and on a 6 you negate wounds. That's the best one. What is it called? Let's see what it's called. That's what it does. Let's see what it's called now. It is Unholy Fortitude. Yep. Add 1 to wounds characteristic, and each time he loses a wound, roll a 6, and he shrugs off damage and does not lose the wound. I think that is overall generally the best one, just because it can apply to any HQ. You don't have to be any sort of god-specific HQ character. You can be anybody for that. Anyone can benefit, so I recommend that one. And 3 best characters, well, Abaddon. Demon Princes with wings are good. And you know what? Huron. I'll say Huron Blackheart. Didn't really feel him too much in 7th edition, but he's underrated. Why? Because he's able to cast 2 psychic powers per turn. How is he able to do this? Because the Hamadryad, I think I said that name, his psychic familiar, if he's alive, you are able to cast another ability. So just keep him alive. So you can cast 2. You can cast your Smite, and then you can cast your Chaos version of Smite, which isn't as good as Smite, but kind of similar to it. And that's what I would recommend. What is it called? Infernal Gaze. Yeah, you can do that. Also, Death Hex. I recommend Death Hex because that's the one that takes away invuln saves from the characters. So there was a particular moment in a recent battle report when a group of Terminators from the Teleportarium deep struck down 9 inches away from my Psyker. And the Psyker cast a Death Hex on them, took away their invuln save, and they were subsequently shot and beaten and destroyed. And it was amazing because there's nothing they could have done. They couldn't have done anything for it because no invuln saves. When you take away the invuln saves, you're stripping away the dignity, and it's amazing. So I recommend that. Now, the other thing, too, that I love about the Dark Hereticus discipline is Warp Time. What's Warp Time? Warp Time gives you another movement, basically. So you choose a unit, and it says to pick a Heretic Astartes unit within 3 inches of the Psyker. It doesn't say pick infantry, pick bikers. It says pick Heretic Astartes unit. So you pick anything. You pick the Lord of Skulls, and you move them as if it was the movement phase. So if there's something that you really want to get up into close combat range, cast Warp Time on it, and it will do so. I suggest this for close combat, good, heavy units, i.e. Berserkers. Now, it's a little bit counterintuitive because you think with Berserkers, they're very anti-Psyker, so you don't want that to happen too much. But you know what? If there's a power moving them and they get into combat, it just makes them happier. So they're not going to care if they were helped by Psychic. They'll soon forget about it as soon as they're in combat. So that's the logic there. So that's what I would do. You Warp Time those Berserkers because they ain't gonna know what brought them on those winds of chaos. You know, I'm kind of half kidding because they will know and they'll be angry about that. But it's going to make them angrier and they'll be even more angry in close combat. So there you go. Awesome. That in a mixture of Veterans of the Long War, so they're wounding on 1 better. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Do it. Warp Time those guys. Oh, and I figured out a tactic here that I experimented with, and it seemed to work really well. And it's this. I fielded berserkers. It was 10 berserkers in a rhino, and it was 5 bikes. And the reason why I did 5 bikes is so that they can move further and faster than the rhino, so they moved in front of it. And the reason why I did that is because I wanted to get close, but I didn't want to be charged. I didn't care about the bikes being shot at and charged. I cared about the berserkers being charged. And so that provided me with 2 walls of protection. There was the biker wall protection, then there was the rhino protection. So that was pretty sweet. That ensured my berserkers getting out, disembarking, and charging on my next turn. It was sweet. It was really good. Because you have the bikers out there, so they can't just be, your rhino can't just be charged and surrounded, and then your berserkers are, gone. It provided a nice means to get nice and close to the enemy and to give me options in the next turn, because basically anything that died, I knew that whatever went up to kill it would die next from the berserkers. Because of your Legion trait, you get to add 1 to your attacks characteristic when you charge with the berserkers. They also count as troops choice now as per the latest FAQ, so that's pretty sweet as well. So awesome. Give them chainswords. Give them more attacks. Make them have 4 attacks each on the charge. Just give it to them. And I'd recommend a Power Fist on the champion, because you're hitting on 4s and you still get your 3 attacks. Nope, you should get 4 attacks because he's 3 attack space, and then you get 1 more for charging. So, and on top of all that, the Blood for the Blood God special rule allows you to attack twice in the fight phase. Now, you do have to attack the second time after all units have attacked in order to get that second fight phase. And whatever you're attacking, if it's actually still alive after the first volley, after first round of you attacking them with your berserkers, they deserve to be alive, and you will have an opportunity to attack again with your berserkers. Amazing. Awesome close combat unit. I love berserkers now. I actually feel like they finally got their justice. All these years of, I want to get them in the combat, I want them to do stuff. It doesn't quite feel good and rewarding enough for me to get them into combat, because it just gets shot at and they die and they wouldn't do enough. And look at these Slaanesh units that are actually better in close combat, or these Nurgle, which are actually have more attacks and they're more survivable. All of that. It felt like everything else was better and berserkers weren't as good, but now they are. And they're base strength 5, which is amazing, because then, there's like a built-in furious charge of old editions. So there you go with the strengths. Veterans of the Long War, you're fighting Marines, you're wounding them on 2s. It's awesome. You're going to love it. You got to try it. You really do. Try it. Yeah. Advance your vehicles up, advance your bikes up in front of them, charge with your berserkers the next round. Even if you don't win, it's a lot of fun. I did that a couple times in one of the recent battles. I'm not sure if it's posted yet by the time you're... No, right now it's not posted. It's in the... Maybe even a couple days ago. No, it's the day before that. I don't remember. It's all blurred. It all blends together. All the chaos and goodness is kind of like one big dessert cookie chaos dough, where you have ice cream and pie and cake and cookies, and you just mash it all together and then you eat it. It doesn't even sound gross. It just sounds like a bowl of chunky sugar, which is, diabetes food, but it tastes delicious, and you can't deny that. So, all right. Dave, when did you start playing Warhammer, and what was the first thing you ever bought in your first Chaos thing? All right, so I started playing 10 years ago. The first Chaos thing was the Chaos Space Marine Global set, which included Defi, and I think 10 Chaos Space Marines, a Rhino, there was a Chaos Lord in it, a Spawn, and there might have been... there was Berserkers. I think there was 5 Berserkers in it. So that was the first thing that I bought. First thing that I put together, it was those guys, and Defi was amongst them. I say it's Defi because I don't remember the exact model that was the first one. All I know is I spent a lot of time on Defi. He was one of the first models that I painted. Within the first 10 models that I painted was Defi. So that's that story. And I actually collected Chaos Space Marines because there were others in our local gaming club who were collecting other armies. And Chaos Space Marines was one of the armies that was not being collected, and I was instantly drawn to them. Why? Because of their beauty, of course. They are beautiful models. They look amazing. They have spiky bits. They have this prowess to the eye that you cannot deny. Didn't mean for that to rhyme, but it totally did, and we're just gonna run with it. I loved it. I loved them. So they just, it felt right. I felt like I was at home. That's why I did it. I knew nothing about them. I didn't know anything about their stats or anything like that. I just, from the aesthetic point of view, I loved the way they looked, and I just started collecting them. By the way, if you're going to Nova Open next week, we will be selling t-shirts. We have 4 different prints. We have the Mini Wargaming shirt, which you can get. We have, I'm going to be selling a Market Dave shirt, and there's a caption on it, which I'll wait for you to get there in order to see the caption, because they're going to be exclusive to conventions and coming here. And, well, you can get it on Spreadshirt too, but it's more fun when you buy it in person, or when you come here to Mini Wargaming, you can get one. So there's a Market Dave shirt that you'll be able to get. There is a Quirk shirt that you'll be able to get. And that has a dice with a bunch of ones on it. So you done quirked up. That is the shirt that you'll get. So that looks like a fun one. There's also the evolution of a Space Marine shirt, where it shows all the, and the last little thing is a Space Marine. So that's a sweet one. So we're going to bring those 4 shirts, 500 shirts in total. And whatever we don't sell, we'll sell at the next convention and so forth. So that's the idea there. Very excited. We're going to have a booth. We're going to be in the main area with all the other vendors and be floating around. It's going to be myself, Matt, and Josh. We're going to have a blast of a time. I just plan on floating around and meeting people, talking to people. That's what I love. That's my favorite thing about conventions. I get a lot of energy from conventions because I'm an extrovert, and so I just talk to a lot of people, and the more people around, they give me more energy, and I just can't help it. So this is funny because and any other person doing this, I don't know their process. I don't know if they would feel like they're just talking to no one, but I feel like I am talking to all 200 of you at the same time. So I love it. That's what I get. This is my energy right now. This is warp charge 88. That's happening. Rolling with 8 11-sided dice. Yes, that would equal 88. Dave, can't wait to see you guys all again in February. Well, you say February. Is that because you're coming down to Mini Wargaming, or is that because of the next LVO? Because we will be going to that as well. Either way, yes, I look forward to seeing you. Zinch Warp, are you annoyed that Space Marines get all the love and generic Chaos Space Marines get no new models for 8th? We need more than the Imperial scum. Plastic chosen, plastic obliterators, etc. Should we comet bomb J? Well, we get new models. That's saying that we don't get new models is not, that's an untruth, because we have gotten and received new models. Like for example, all the Nurgle, the Dark Imperium stuff, those are new models. You got your bloat drones, you got your plague bringer. I don't remember all the names of them because I only fielded it a couple times, but you got your poxwalkers. Like we got new models. So, and Zinch came out with models recently. There's a new Thousand Suns. There's these Scarab Occult Terminators. Like I don't know where the non-new models are. If you're talking about generic Chaos Space Marines, then that's correct. There are no new generic Chaos Space Marines. And maybe perhaps you're thinking of like a Primaris equivalent of the Chaos Space Marines, which I might add would be awesome if we did get. And I would openly accept that with arms of open arms. Throwing the words at you. It's your job to organize them. What did you eat for lunch? Eric Prothero Brooks. I didn't have lunch because I knew I was doing this show. And if I had lunch, I might get sleepy. And there's no time to sleep in the Eye of Terror, in the Shrine of Chaos, when you're connecting with the peeps that you love to talk to. And so that's what I'm doing right now. I didn't eat. I didn't talk. I'm talking constantly. What would you recommend for someone to make Seraphim base Blood Crushers from? Making custom demons of Khorne army to match my fluff. I think Seraphim base Blood Crushers from. That's honestly a question for Chris or Lee. Because as much as I love conversions, That's not what I focus my time on in the hobby. I would if I had more time. I would definitely love it. There are artistic things that I love doing, such as building studios. I will be heavily involved in the new building of studios. I will have my hand in each one. Each one will be built by me, and I will have help with them, but each one will have the touch of chaos on them, I assure you. So that's where I get my enjoyment from. And models, there's just too many to paint. There just is not time to paint all the amount that I would want, because I want a lot, and that is true. Open arms or tentacles, you are chaos after all. Okay, fine, I'll choose. I think tentacles will work, because there was someone yesterday, his name was James, and he's also half Asian, like myself. So he was a brother that I never knew I had. So we fought yesterday. It was a lot of fun. And he was talking about his orc converted model. And the orc converted model that he had was Dr. Orctopus. And it made me laugh because it was he had a converted orc army. Everything was converted, and it was awesome. In fact, we posted it on the Mini Wargaming Facebook page. I took a picture of all of his unique units, and I posted it on there. So if you want to see these conversions, go on the Mini Wargaming Facebook page and check them out, because I posted yesterday, so it should be fairly new, so you won't have to scroll down too far in order to see them. But it made me think, Dr. Orctopus, he's a corn unit, because he's got 8 tentacles, 8 legs, 8 something. So that's very that's very corny. You could say it's very quirky, and it would still do the same thing. Will we ever get Noise Marines from GW? I don't know the answer to that, and I can only hope that we will. You know what I do think, though? I think that it is time to give away the first strike. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask a question, and the first person that I see here on my computer with the correct answer will receive first strike, a Warhammer 40K starter set. This is what you get in the starter set. Just going to show you the picture, just so you know, in case you're not aware. That's what we like to do. Like to give away gifts of chaos in the Shrine of Chaos. It makes people happy. It makes me happy. So because it makes me happy, I'm going to do it. Okay. So yeah. I'm going to ask a question now. Let's see. What can the question be? What could it be? What could it be? I'm trying to think of a question here, and I'm having difficulty because I'm getting distracted by the awesomeness on my shelf. So I am going to... Okay, complete my mind blank. Why don't we go with this? You know what? I'll just give you a really easy one. Just a super, super really easy one. It requires you to look at the screen, okay? Now, I apologize if this is not in focus, but when it becomes in focus, you all have equal chance to answer the question. And let me see, I gotta scroll down here just so I see the bottom of the chat. Here we go. You guys ready? Name this Primarch. If you can name this Primarch, you get first strike. Okay. All right, Matthew K. You're the first one. You're the winner. So Matthew K, what you need to do is you need to contact me through Facebook, logged in as Matthew K, so I know that it's you. And when you message me on YouTube, if I said Facebook before, I was wrong. Message me on YouTube. Include your name and your shipping address so that I can send this through the warp. Send this, as in first strike, to you. So congratulations, Matthew K. And that's it. Here's a question for you guys. What army should I collect next? I would love to collect some sort of army. What do you think would be good? I was actually thinking of starting a complete Mark of Dave army. So there's Mark of Dave on the shoulder pads, Mark of Dave on the vehicles, and all of the guys would be posed to have weapons, but they wouldn't actually have weapons. So like the Havocs would be like this, but they wouldn't have the weapons because they would be just anything that we'd want them to be, right? Same with the guys with the bolters and stuff. They could be anything. Okay, Death Guard, Tau. Well, what's all these people saying Tau? I really need a moderator just booting all these people. Do you think regular Chaos Space Marines have their place in the World Eater's army? No. Yeah. I don't. And that's based off the last battle that I fought. It was World Eater's army, and there were no Chaos Space Marines in it. So, I don't think so. Okay. I appreciate your suggestions for what I should collect next. But now it is the time for me to go because the autumn moonlight lights our way. And now I feel the rain, and with it pain. It's headed our way. If you guys know that song, then you are awesome, because that's an awesome song. So thank you very much for joining me today on the Shrine of Chaos. Just know that without you, we don't exist. And please continue doing what you're doing, which is watching videos and supporting us. And if you're Vault members, even better, because the Vault members in particular allow us to do what we do because they support us. To be a YouTube viewer versus being a Vault member viewer, I think you have to, it's something crazy. Like you got to watch 1,000 times more videos to equal the amount. I just made up that number, but it's something like that. Yeah, it's close to that. It's ridiculous. YouTube doesn't give us too much in terms of ad revenue. We make our revenue from the Vault, and that's what supports us. So thank you for being Vault members. If you're not a Vault member and you're watching this and you've been a fan of the channel, that's your best way to support us. If you've ever thought of supporting us in the past and you want to now, become a Vault member. I encourage you to, because it honestly does allow us to do what we do and allows us to continue making content, and it allows us to expand and to hire more guys and to cover more games and to have more manpower to do these things. So thank you. We shall commence the next time the Shrine of Chaos will be on a Thursday, and I can't tell you the next time because I got to check the calendar. Until then, it's really hard to say goodbye. I hate goodbyes. I always want to talk forever. That's just how it is. Thank you guys. We'll see you later. Happy wargaming.